Human beings are self-aware, but have you ever wondered what comes after self-awareness? So not only am I going to show you what comes after self-awareness, but by watching this video and by the end of it, you will have already stepped beyond ordinary self-awareness and be on your way to attaining the highest level of consciousness, God consciousness, absolute awareness. My name is Morgue, and we're here to create a new humanity and a new earth. So join our War of the Mind and help us wake up the world by subscribing right now. And my content is controversial, so make sure that you hit the bell so you know when something new comes out. Before I can explain what the next level of consciousness is and how you can begin to achieve it, I have to give you some preliminary information because I can't just come out and say it. Well, why not? Think of it like this. An animal is instinctual and a human is self-aware. Now these are two different levels of awareness, instinctual awareness and self-awareness. Most animals, with a few exceptions, have no sense of self whatsoever. They haven't developed the concept of I. They have no sense of self-awareness. So you can't just come out and explain to an animal what self-awareness is, because understanding conceptual language requires self-awareness. Likewise, human babies, they aren't born self-aware. They haven't developed an ego, and they don't have a sense of I. You certainly can't explain to a baby what self-awareness is. They would need self-awareness to understand what it is that you're trying to explain. Self-awareness is something that develops. But by being around other self-aware humans and acquiring language skills, the baby eventually begins to develop self-awareness over time. Reaching the next level of consciousness isn't something that can just be said outright. It's a journey, something that you go through. It's something that develops, it evolves. However, this video is the beginning of that journey. And by the end of it, you'll have stepped beyond self-awareness and into something higher. Consider the following. A dog doesn't know that it's a dog. A cat doesn't know that it's a cat. A baby doesn't know that it's a baby. But a self-aware human knows that it's a human. Now, do you see the difference? The human has self-reflective knowledge that the instinctual creature lacks. It's able to know it's a human because it's self-aware. But what if the human wasn't just a human? Just like a cat that doesn't know that it's a cat, what if a human was something else that it wasn't aware of? And what if that knowledge was key to advancing to a higher level of awareness? Humanity as a whole is in crisis. There's war and hatred everywhere. People are depressed, divided, and devoid of purpose. Why? Why are things so screwed up? It's because humanity doesn't know what it is. It looks to money or entertainment or some god in the sky. But the answer to all our problems lies in the last place that humanity will look, because it's completely unaware that it exists. Just as instinctual animals eat each other in the wild, humanity will continue to fight amongst itself until it realizes what it is and reaches the next level. And the truth is that everything you've been told is a lie, and nothing is what it seems. Just as an animal has no idea what a planet is, humanity has no idea what the universe is and what reality is. The key to this mystery lies in dreams. What I'm about to show you may seem crazy at first, but that's because we're now stepping beyond the limited human conception of existence. You've been told that reality is material and that you're simply a body, but nothing could be further from the truth. This is a mathematical reality of mind, and you are an eternal mathematical being. Consider the fact that the mind has the power to generate entire worlds every time you go to sleep and dream. And these dream worlds that you generate are so realistic that you take them to be real while you're in the dream. While you're dreaming, you have a dream body with which you use to explore the dream world. But obviously, that dream body isn't what you actually are. You're something more. Likewise, when you're awake, the so-called physical world all around you, it isn't physical at all. It's a shared mathematical dream. The only difference is that in a personal dream, you are the only mind generating it. But in the shared dream that we call the holos, every mind in existence is contributing to its generation. You aren't your body at all. Your body is just an avatar. It's a vehicle that lets you interact with and explore this shared dream world. And this shared dream, it doesn't change erratically like a personal dream, because every mind contributes to its formation. So this ensures that it's stable. Mathematics, dreams, and mind is the key to everything. They are all related. Mathematical frequencies, sine and cosine waves, are mind. And these non-physical frequencies of mind are what generate dream worlds. Your body, it's just a dream avatar. And what you truly are is an eternal, non-physical, mathematical mind called a monad. Now, some people have called this a soul, but we often use monad in order to distance ourselves away from the way mainstream religion has soiled the term. A monad, or a soul, has nothing to do with faith, belief, or mysticism. It can be known completely logically and rationally. A monad is simply a container of mathematical frequencies, a complete set of Fourier basis waves. And this is what you truly are. A cat doesn't know that it's a cat. A human thinks it knows that it's a human, but it's mistaken. A human is actually an eternal monadic mind. But this is just the beginning, because it goes so much deeper. Now, if this begins to feel overwhelming, hey, I get it, I understand. This is because we are beginning to venture beyond the limits of self-awareness, and so it can feel disorienting, like being submerged in a chaotic ocean and not being able to get your bearings because you can't tell which direction is up and which direction is down. But just stay with me, and by the end of this video, you'll be at the gate of a new consciousness. Reality, it's not physical. It's a mathematical realm of mind, and you are not a body. You are a monadic, eternal mind. But there's another layer to this mystery, and that is what the philosopher Hegel called the absolute. Hegel knew that reality wasn't material, that it was a reality of rational thought, an evolving mind trying to understand itself. And he also knew that reality was composed of concepts that seem contradictory and paradoxical, but are actually united. Understanding the apparent paradox of the one and the many is crucial to reaching the next level of consciousness. So what do I mean by the one and the many? Reality is one mind, it is one soul, but at the same time, it is many minds, it is many souls. So you might be thinking, how can it be possible? How can it be both at once? How can something be one and many at the same time? Think of it like this. You are one eternal monadic mind, and so is everyone around you. Your friends, family, they're all avatars, vehicles that an eternal monadic mind, a soul, links to in order to interact in the shared dream. So there are many monadic minds in existence. However, now imagine the collection of all eternal minds. Considered together, there is one collective mind, one network mind. Think of many cells that form one body, or many neurons that form one brain. There are many individual minds, but they form one collective mind, the absolute. The absolute is a collective mind, a network of many minds. So when you go to sleep and dream at night, that's your personal dream world as an individual monadic mind. The world you inhabit when you're awake, that's the dream of the absolute, the collective mind. All of us. The Big Bang was the moment that the absolute began to dream this collective dream. The absolute is God. We often call the absolute abraxas. Now the absolute, it isn't something apart from us. It is what we are. We are the absolute. We are God. Now just as an animal doesn't know that it's an animal, a human thinks that it's merely human, but it's something so much more. It is an eternal monadic mind, and together we are the absolute, God itself. Now we need to put all these concepts together into our triadic perspective: the avatar, the monadic, and the absolute perspective. The avatar perspective is simply you as a body. The monadic perspective is you as an individual eternal monadic mind. And the absolute perspective is us together as the one cosmic mind. The absolute, or abraxas, is the network of many monadic minds considered as one. And rationally understanding these three perspectives is the key to everything. From the monadic perspective, we understand that we are eternal individual minds, souls. And from the absolute perspective, we understand that we form one mind. From that perspective, you are me and I am you. You see, the next level of awareness, the level after simple self-awareness, it's a group awareness, a group consciousness. And Hegel knew this was true. He called this group consciousness absolute spirit. Right now, the people of Earth have only simple self-awareness. They're only aware of themselves as mere bodies, avatars. They aren't aware that they're eternal minds, and they aren't aware that they form one system, the absolute. They're like neurons in a brain that instead of working together are fighting amongst themselves. It's only when the neurons work together that the brain is healthy. Likewise, only when humanity attains absolute awareness and realizes that it forms one mind will it be able to become what it is. All the hatred, war, and division will end when humanity finally realizes that we are many minds that form a collective. From the absolute perspective, I am you and you are me. If we use a circle to symbolically represent a monad, a circle of circles would represent the absolute. We are both one and many. The absolute is the one mind that experiences particularity through a multitude of individual monadic minds that each link to an avatar to experience space and time. The absolute is the ultimate universal that experiences particularity through monads that then localize in space and time through bodily avatars. We are all on a journey of evolution and apotheosis. We are literally evolving into God. This world is a training ground for us to learn and cooperate and work together. And eventually, when we have all attained absolute consciousness and are working together in harmony, we will be able to create our own collective dream worlds together. Together, we will be the gods of a new world. Now, does this idea seem crazy, that we could create our own dream worlds? Unimaginable? Impossible? It's not at all. In fact, it's obvious. Look, instinctual animals couldn't possibly fathom how self-aware humans could create cities, cars, and smartphones. Likewise, self-aware humans cannot possibly fathom how we will be able to create a dream world. Most animals can't recognize themselves in a mirror. A human that has simple self-awareness can recognize themselves in a mirror. A human of a higher awareness can recognize themselves in everyone else. Every person becomes their mirror. Once you step into that higher awareness, it will seem like the most obvious thing in the world, and you'll be frustrated that others can't see it. It's as frustrating as being the only self-aware human within a world of instinctual animals. Right now, we can barely walk outside without the fear of someone saying something hateful or attacking us because of the way we look, act, or dress. Humanity is extremely fractured, and we must work together to repair this fracture and unite the world. We want to finally be free to begin thriving in a beautiful world of our creation rather than fighting to survive in this madhouse. We must reach a higher consciousness as a collective, or this world will be destroyed. The biggest obstacles to humanity reaching a new level of consciousness are mainstream religion, scientific materialism, and the rich billionaire class. You see, mainstream religion keeps humanity enslaved to a fabricated God in the sky, and as long as humanity worships a God in the sky, they will never realize their own divinity. Scientific materialism refuses to acknowledge that this is a mathematical reality and clings to a dogmatic faith in the human senses. Scientific materialism is a primitive system that reduces you and all existence to nothing but dead matter. It must be replaced by our system of ontological mathematics, a system of logic and reason that proves that this is a mathematical reality of mind and that we are God. The billionaire class is intent on hoarding their wealth, while the rest of the world suffers because of their greed. The last thing that they want is for you to realize what you are. They want you to remain an ignorant slave, a cog in their corporate machine. Only once faith and the abhorrent concept of a creator God is demolished, only once scientific materialism is replaced by the rationalist system of ontological mathematics, and only once the billionaire class is gone can we become free to create a new world and become the gods of a new world. The answer is not love and light. The billionaire class will stomp all over you. The answer is not faith and prayer. God is not outside of you, it is you. The answer is not materialism. Only logic and reason can reach the highest levels of mind beyond the physical. Together, we must change the world, and it begins with you. You personally must step into this new level of consciousness and then help others to do so as well by spreading this information. Now, I told you that if you watch this video to the end, you will have begun to step into a new level of awareness. And if you understood anything at all in this video, then you have. Hegel knew that to be aware of your limitations is to already be beyond them. So simply by becoming aware that there is something more than self-awareness, you have already begun to enter into a higher understanding, even if it's just a little. We are a movement of eternal monadic minds, and the highest of us have attained a level of consciousness well beyond self-awareness. We are creating a new, higher community here on Earth now, and we are here to transform humanity, transform the world, and transform the universe. Join us. Leave behind the mundane and step into something higher. Become Hyperion. Now, I attempted to communicate a vast amount of information in a very small amount of time, and even this is a long time for the attention spans of social media. Now, I'm sure you have many questions like, is reincarnation true? How can we know all of this through logic and reason? And what happens when you die? I've created videos on all these topics and a lot more, so start exploring my other videos. The more you rationally understand, the more your awareness will increase. If you made it this far, make sure you like and share this video. Share it with everyone so we can begin to wake up the world. Now, I want to give a big shout out to all my supporters on Patreon helping us wake up the world. And if you'd like to support as well, support on Patreon and get access to our weekly secret live streams. My name is Morgue, and I am Hyperion, ad astra, to the stars.